Video games with a goal to kill, often with a firearm, like Call of Duty World War II, Destiny 2, and Battlefield, are among America's most popular entertainment. And politicians have been quick to say that the violence on screen contributes to violence in real life, such as mass school shootings.
Congress should fund research into the effects that violent video games have on young minds.
Violent video games have encouraged the killing of innocent people for sport.
I'm hearing more and more people say the level of violence on video games is really shaping young people's thoughts.
There's just one problem with that. The research doesn't back it up. Back in the 1990s, people were worried about games like Duke Nukem, Mortal Kombat, and Resident Evil. Over the years, these games have become more lifelike, with better graphics, more detail, and more violence. And some of the gunmen who have terrorized schools have been known to play these kind of games. The Columbine shooters played the then controversial game Doom, even building their own customized levels. The Virginia Tech gunman played similar video games. And the neighbor of Nicholas Cruz, the accused Parkland shooting suspect, told the Miami Herald that Cruz may have played violent video games for up to 15 hours a day. While some studies may have found correlations between playing violent video games and violent behavior, they have not been proven to cause actual crime. Some studies even suggest the opposite. We find no evidence of an increase in crime associated with video games and perhaps a decrease. Unexpectedly, many of the results were suggested of a decrease in violent crime in response to violent video games. Some psychiatrists warn of the dangers of focusing solely on video games.
To look at violent video games, in my opinion, is a red herring. It's not going to lead to anything helpful in regards to gun violence.
The argument has even been rejected by the Supreme Court. In 2011, it ruled that California could not ban the sale of violent video games to children on the grounds that they cause real-world violence. But the narrative has an appeal. It's a simple explanation in a debate that has become increasingly caustic.
The president talked about gun violence today with members of the video game industry, which generated a record $37 billion last year. Is there a link between virtual violence and the real thing? Here's Anna Werner.
The White House put out these video game scenes timed with today's meeting. Last month, President Trump said this.
And this is what kids are watching. And I think you maybe have to take a look at it.
Today, he met parents like Melissa Henson.
The kinds of messages and images that they are putting in their minds, I think they're seeing nightly dress rehearsals for huge acts of violence.
But this psychologist says,
we see video games actually being used as a scapegoat for what I think might be the real causes of violence.
Patrick Markey's research shows 80% of mass shooters did not show an interest in violent video games.
It seems like something that should actually make us safer. So it's a total understandable reaction. The problem is just the science, the data does not back up that it would actually have an effect.
But other critics point to this, the appearance of weapons in video games, like this Remington assault rifle pictured in popular game Call of Duty. The images come from a lawsuit by Sandy Hook parents who are suing Remington, saying the company bears responsibility for the killings of 26 people at the school by shooter Adam Lanza in 2012.
He was within this younger male demographic that Remington was trying to sell guns to.
Attorney Josh Koskoff.
What we're seeing here is what I've described as a chickens coming home to roost scenario, where you saturate, you sell so recklessly so many of these weapons to so much of this high-risk demographic.
We reached out to Remington and other gun manufacturers, but did not hear back. The Entertainment Software Association that represents the video game industry said it told the president today that numerous scientific studies show there's no connection between video games and violence. In fact, Jeff, the researchers we interviewed today said that his work shows that when a new violent video game is released, that crime actually drops. Why? They think possibly because kids stay at home and off the streets.
That's amazing to think about. But something that parents I know are talking and thinking about overall a lot. Anna, thank you.
Yeah.